Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am the Air Misfit, and today I am talking with my son, Bubba Fett, who just turned 4, about our favorite thing, which is Star Wars. We just absolutely love it. We just finished watching the Clone Wars series together and watching Star Wars Rebels, and just absolutely loved it. They were phenomenal. Definitely recommend you watching them. Gives you a lot of background stuff that just the movies just weren't able to include everything. Now he's just sitting back behind the camera here, and I'm kind of just talking to him. He really wanted to be part of my Star Wars discussion and my first Star Wars video. Um, and so, yeah, we want to talk about Star Wars with the. This is one of the main things of why I am doing a YouTube channel. I have a good friend of mine who always asks me Star Wars questions, loves talking Star Wars with me, loves my perspective and point of view about it. And so it's like, yeah, well, let's do this. And I hate it's taken so long to get around to a Star Wars video, so much other stuff going on and stuff. I really wanted to have a May 4th one for my first Star Wars video, but it is here. And I figured a good intro to um, any of my Star Wars segments and where I go will is about the fan base. And I want to keep this kind of generic and not go into too many details stuff, because then that's stuff for future videos. But I want to talk about the how Star Wars has a multitude and a huge variety of fans. And that a lot of it, and I think a lot of us fans forget sometimes, is, a lot of it with Star Wars depends on our point of view. Like Obi-Wan talked about how when he's talking to Luke on Dagobah, that what I told you was true from a certain point of view. Goes on to say that you'll realize that a lot of things depend on your point of view, and that is definitely true for the Star Wars universe. We look at things from our own perspective and our own understanding, and where I want the Star Wars universe to go. And then when it doesn't go there, I get upset. I get like, oh, why would you do that? That doesn't make sense and stuff. And then I got to remember and give myself a reality check of when Disney or George Lucas before, or whoever's doing, was not doing it for me specifically. It is their take on it, their perspective on it, their point of view. And so to go in on that, and I think a lot of the direction and the point of view that Star Wars is going is the first two fan bases I want to talk about is the I've never seen Star Wars, I don't care about Star Wars fans who probably aren't even going to click on this video because Star Wars is in the title. And to be perfectly honest, it's entertainment. It's about money. It's that's where they want to go. They want to increase their fan base for everyone, and try and grab some of those I've never seen Star Wars and get them to actually see Star Wars. Whether it's working or not, I honestly don't talk to too many people who have never seen Star Wars. I just don't know if it hasn't come up or what. But so yeah, we're not going to talk about those fans too much anymore. They don't care about Star Wars, which is fine. Everybody has their thing that floats their boat and what they're interested in. The next group of fans that I think that the direction of Star Wars is really going to, and is the I've only ever seen the movies. They're ones who've seen the original trilogy when it was first out in theaters that were fortunate enough to be alive then. Um, and then they watched the special edition when those were done that added bonus footage and stuff, and then the prequels, the sequel trilogy, and Solo and Rogue One, where their knowledge base is only based on the movies. They have only seen the movies. They haven't read the books. They haven't read the comics. Um, and to some degree, with Disney going that direction, it looks like, and throwing out the expanded universe or the EU with the comics and the other books and stuff, is they basically have a blank slate. And it honestly, if you look at it from their perspective and their point of view, makes sense to throw out the other stuff, and now I get to do what I want. I need to tie it into these movies and stuff like that. But, they can go wherever they want to go. And whether I like it or not, whether you like it or not, that is their prerogative. They own Star Wars now. Star Wars is what they want to make it. I have seen that they do a lot to try and make all their fans happy, but honestly, with something as diverse as Star Wars and things like that, no matter what they do, someone is going to be upset. Um, you go too much into the expanded universe, and you might upset your movie fans who don't understand any of that stuff. You don't include enough of the expanded universe, and you upset those fans who that's where they wanted it to go. You rewrite characters and you throw out stuff. Han and Leia had more kids and this and that, and the names are different. It, there was nothing that could be done to make everyone 100% happy, and that's something that we got to keep in mind. I like to consider myself one of the expanded universe fans, and I fell in love with Star Wars when I was a little kid, about 4 or 5 years old, watching it with my parents, and just went with it. I wanted to know everything about Star Wars. I read everything I could get a hold of, and watched everything I could. I've read comics. I've read books. One of my favorite trilogies is the Han Solo trilogy, which is why I got upset with the Solo movie, is because it basically rewrote a lot of what Han Solo was. Again, they weren't catering to me. I think they may have made a mistake of not including more of that stuff in there, but it was still a good movie. I still enjoyed it. I still liked it, and that's my perspective, my point of view, my opinion on it. Um, and I've talked to several people who they absolutely loved it, and some of which have read the Han Solo trilogy and they thought this was better than that, which is fine. But so yeah, just moving on, and keeping a lot of things in mind. Yeah, there's just everything is, especially in Star Wars, is going to be affected by our opinions, our biases, our way that we grew up, the way that we viewed Star Wars growing up. And it is very easy, especially if you read the books and things like that, to lose yourself, to imagine yourself as characters, to imagine this is how they would be like. And of course, you're going to get upset when somebody comes and changes that, because you built this up in your mind more than was in the pages or in the words, or where the original author or creator of those characters was going. And then we get upset about it. And then there's another perspective that I like to take on it, is Master Yoda, is talking about that you need to set it, that you need to unlearn what you have learned. And especially for those of us that have really dived into the expanded universe and things like that, that if you really want to watch some of this newer stuff and enjoy it, then you really need to just unlearn what you have learned and kind of forget about it. It's hard for me, but when I can do that, I've enjoyed the new movies. I have liked them. They are good sci-fi movies. Um, some things could have been better written. Some could have been better actors, and some stuff, if they just had more time, could have done better, or something was added to that makes sense to those of us who have read more or done more research. But that can be said about the original trilogy. I mean, you go back and you look at the original trilogy, and there was some bad acting, there was some bad writing and stuff, and things just didn't tie together. You look at the prequel trilogy, there was definitely some bad acting, bad writing, stuff, but overall, the story is there. The story is good. And that's just my point of view on it. And yeah, and so going on from here, I will be talking about different comics and things that I have seen about different stuff. I will go into spoilers on stuff. The next thing I really want to talk about is Darth Maul and just different stuff I've been seeing about a Darth Maul movie or even miniseries and stuff like that. And spoiler of, if you haven't seen other stuff, of there's a lot about him after Phantom Menace, but then also you have his training under Sidious and becoming an apprentice. So there's a lot that can be done about that. But I will go more into that in a future video. I want to talk about Ahsoka Tano, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn, just a whole array of stuff. And what I encourage, especially if you continue to follow me on any of my stuff or on especially my Star Wars stuff, is this is my point of view, my opinion, how I've come to know Star Wars, and I am going to try and keep an open mind about things and talk about things. And I understand that not everybody is going to like what I have to say or agree with it. That's fine. But anyways, again, guys, thank you for your continued support and bearing with me. Still working out kinks on videos, trying to experimenting with different web cameras and things. Mostly right now, I've been using laptops that I have available for me. I'll be experimenting with cell phone cameras, web cameras, stuff like that. But again, thank you. I look forward to continuing to learn and grow with you on all sorts of stuff, especially Star Wars. And again, I am the Aramis Fett, wishing you well and signing off.